Hey y'all, it's Cindy Cobb with Around the Town in the South, and I am in a boat in the Ross Barnett Reservoir. I have learned a little bit about, what kind of fishing are we doing?
Crappie fishing.
Crappie fishing. I am here with Brad Chappell and my nephew Lawson Cobb. As y'all know, y'all have seen some of Lawson's fish lately, and when I got to do this interview with you, I was excited and I wanted to bring him along because he's learning in the fishing world. Thank you for joining me today.
Hey man, I'm ready. Excited as usual, go fishing.
What I love about the South is there's stories everywhere. And I found out about you through Kelly Mott from Visit Ridgeland. And she said, you have got to check out this guy and what he's doing. A lot of people don't know. And I did. I went and looked at his Facebook pages. I contacted him and I said, I want people to know what we have to offer in the fishing world here in Mississippi, but not just Mississippi, right here in our backyard.
Yeah, I mean, we have probably some of the best crappie fishing in the United States. People come from all over the place, from Indiana to Missouri to Utah, you name it. They come here to crappie fish.
Wow.
For one reason, we've got great fishing.
And I obviously have a great guy. You are a great guide because I've had a lot of questions. Look, before we get started, I want to thank my sponsors, Goodson, Crye-Leike Realtors. If you're looking for a house to sell or buy, give her a call. She's one of the top agents in our area. Perfect Pooch, if you're looking for a grooming or a boarding for your pup, give Lisa a call. That's where my Lacey goes, and she loves it. She always looks so cute, doesn't she, Lawson? Northpark. If you haven't been to the new Northpark, you've got to do yourself a favor, especially if you have kids. There's all kinds of things going on all the time. I love it. I love going there and shopping. It's wonderful. And also Nandy's Candy. You can go online. If you're somewhere else, you can order her candies. They've been in business for 38 years. It's a mom and pop shop, but they have the most unique candies you've ever seen. It's one of my nephew's favorite place to get snowballs and chocolate, isn't it?
Yes.
It really is. So y'all, thank you for our sponsor. Let's get started with this interview. I can't wait. So Brad, tell us a little bit about your fishing history. When you started fishing, how old were you? Who introduced it to you?
You know, probably my mother. I would say it was first, maybe even kindergarten, and we would go fishing, you know, as an afternoon treat, do good in school, get to go crappie fishing or, you know, catfishing, what have you.
That would be a good treat.
It was, and, you know, it really fueled my fire, just like this young man here, Carson. You know, it really got it going for me and lit the fire, and it still burns on today.
That's awesome. So do you remember, I know that this has been a love and a passion of yours, do you remember the first time, the feeling that you had when you said to yourself, this is something that I would love to do for the rest of my life, is be a part of this profession?
Well, you know, like most guys and ladies now, you know, love being outside, love, you know, getting to meet new people, and it just all kind of clicked. You know, get to go fishing, meet new people, and you know, do something that you love. And I think that's the American dream in my mind.
It absolutely is, but you took it a step further. A lot of people never get to experience what you're experiencing right now. They go to college, they get in their profession, and this becomes hobbies instead of what they love to do. At what part, I know you said you've been professionally doing this for like 8 years or so.
Right.
At what point did you say, this is something that I want to continue it being your life?
Well, I think that just working in the corporate world and just the rat race of that thing, and you always have in your mind what your passion is and how do you make your passion turn into a career.
Right.
And it takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and also a lot of blessings. And that's my mind anyway. Doors open and you meet different people, and I have the feeling that if you treat people right, normally they're going to treat you right back the same. So I think just trying hard, keeping focused, and never giving up.
That's awesome. I love those things, and that's with everything that we do. Yet a lot of people don't do that, and I'm proud for you that you did, and I'm proud for what you offer us. Tell us a little bit, if Lawson and I decided to do a guided trip out here, and I know you do on several lakes, tell us about where you go. What would we expect in that day? And then we're going to talk about the lures, and because I'm learning all this stuff. You know, like I told him, I grew up, the first fish pole I had was a cane pole and a minnow, more than likely, and it's just so, the profession has just really, it's just a different world now.
Oh yeah, you know, when I started crappie fishing, we would use cane poles, bobbers, and minnows.
Oh wow.
And you know, today it's involved from jigs to crankbaits, but we still even use you know, minnows and corks as well. So
yeah.
we typically on the guide trip, we'll start out about 7 o'clock in the morning and fish to about 2 or 3 o'clock. All they really need is a fishing license, some sunscreen, and drinks and snacks, and a cooler to take home some fish.
Wow.
I supply all the bait, all the tackle, you know, and we have a really good time. Like I said, I get to meet new people, but also get to meet new friends all the time. So really what I feel about it.
Yeah, it's like this is a connecting way for you.
Absolutely.
And it also connects, we were talking about the states, different states around, because did you say that this was the, you know, crappie place to... Destination, right.
Absolutely. If you talk to any avid crappie fisherman from really anywhere in the United States, and he would only have one state to go crappie fishing, and every one of them, I would just about guarantee you, would say Mississippi.
Wow.
We're very, very fortunate to have such a great resource here.
So my nephew Lawson had a question earlier. What was your question about the size of the fish?
What's the world record poundage of crappie?
Yeah, it actually come from Mississippi back in the 1940s from Enid Lake,
Wow.
which is right north of Grenada, and it was right at 5.5 pounds. So a really, really big crappie. And one of the best things about crappie too is they're delicious. You know, I love to eat them just as much as I like to catch them. So
Right.
on the Barnett here, you know, real liberal availability to keep them. I mean, each person can keep 30 fish a person.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, at the end of the day, you can take a lot of fish home to feed your family. And that's one of the things that really propelled me into crappie fishing compared to other fishing was I like to eat them, and you can catch a lot of them, and you can eat a lot of them.
That's awesome. But I know you had, this is like your serenity. When we talked this morning at 7:20, he said, I'm on my way to the office. And I said, okay. He said, my office is the lake today. And I said, how wonderful would that be? So let's talk a little bit about your fishing rods and your, you know, because my question would be, if I came, what are you gonna supply me with? I want the best fishing rod that you have, and then, you know, I know we talked about the differences. So what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
You know, I use the Denali poles. I've been with them 5 years, and very fortunate. I kind of help them develop new poles, and you know, they listen to us fishermen and say, you know, what do you guys need? And that's one of the things that I've done through the years with those guys is help them develop better fishing poles.
Wow.
Like crappie fishing baits in general too. I mean, there's no telling how many different colors there is. And
Right.
you know, we kind of discussed it earlier. Is color important? Is everything important? With crappie fishing, every little detail is important. From the size of hooks to the, you know, the fishing line that you're using to everything is a piece of the puzzle. And crappie fishing is like a puzzle some days. You got to find every little piece and put it together to make the whole picture come out right.
That's awesome. It might take you a couple of different options then to get that piece that day.
That's right.
That is so cool. Well, I've been sitting in this fishing boat and I've looked around, and a lot of these things I don't know. We have this depth finder over here, which this is the coolest thing. You know, like I said, fishing has really come a long way since I was a little girl, which, you know, we're not going to talk about that, but I don't even know if they had that back then. But there's so many tools that you can use now to make you be a better fisherman, and also to help with your guided tours. So any kind of tips that you can give?
You know, I would think it would be just keep pushing yourself to learn a new technique. You know, for years I just really trolled out the back of the boat and didn't do anything else too much because I was good at it and I caught fish. This past year I've really started digging into single pole fishing, which is the Barnett here. It's a great fishery to do that. But I would just say keep digging into finding new ways to catch them. And then they bite every day. I mean, we eat every day. The crappie eat every single day while they're out here. You just got to figure out what they want to eat.
He's been fishing today, and he pulled up his, I guess that's your cooler, and he showed us some of the fish, and it's just amazing to me because sometimes you can sit for hours and not catch a thing, and it takes that one little hit.
One little piece.
Yeah, that'll get it. Well, as you can see, it is beautiful out here on the Ross Barnett Reservoir. Look at the information. I put all of his information on here, his Facebook pages, his Instagram pages. Look him up, follow him. He's got a podcast that y'all do. Tell about the podcast quick.
It's called the Crappie Connection, and we've been doing it probably a little over, not quite a year yet. but it's just about crappie fishing. We discuss from, how do you do this technique to different lakes that we go to fish, how to go to a new lake and fish. It's just anything crappie fishing that you can ever imagine.
That is awesome. Lawson, do you have any questions before we let this gentleman let him out of our boat, or you want to fish, or what do you want to do?
I don't care.
You don't care? Do you have any other questions?
Who was Carson? You said something about
Oh,
Carson.
get your name wrong again. My bad.
He
I was close.
Carson Cobb. That's a cute name, by the way. I might start calling you Carson. All right, guys, thank y'all for joining us. We love showcasing stories around the South, especially right here in our backyard on this Ross Barnett Reservoir. We have an absolutely wonderful place, not just to come fish, but to eat, check out. I want to thank Visit Ridgeland for connecting us.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you're looking for places. We're going to post all this on our social media. We are giving away a contest. We have a giveaway. We're giving away a 4-hour fishing guided trip with Brad out here.
Yeah.
I don't know which lake it's going to be on. It's going to depend on where you are. The instructions on how to win that trip are on the description. This contest will go through the end of the month because we want to give you plenty of options to do what we're asking you to do. You can actually do this several times. And listen, I'm hoping I'm going to try to win this trip because I think I would love to come out here and go fishing. So y'all keep in mind that contest, and like and share this. Send it with everybody that you can. And thank you for letting me sit with you and you just educate me on different, like I told you earlier, I have fished catfish and bass, and that's pretty much it. But learning actually there is a technique, a rhyme to the reason.
Method to the madness.
Method to the madness when you're fishing or doing anything. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to have you back on here possibly when we give away the guided tour. That would be awesome.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
All right. Well,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and y'all, we'll see you around the town.
Oh gosh.